Alright, what is up YouTube? Bonjour. Today I just want to start off the video by saluting two newest members of the Hall of Fame class in baseball, Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Piazza, the Italian with the goatee catcher for the New York Mets. Pizza, Piazza, ciao, spaghetti, pizza, Piazza. And that's my most stereotypical Italian accent attempt. I like to apologize for offending everyone, and I hope you will forgive me one day. But moving back on track, Mike Piazza was like the face of the Mets, man. Mike Piazza was as New York for the Mets as Derek Jeter was New York for the entire world. And believe it or not, back in those Mets and Braves rivalry days when it got really, really ugly and the fans were chanting, Larry, 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 to Chipper Jones when he was at the plate, man, Mike Piazza was the face. He was that guy for the New York Mets. So definitely salute to you, Mr. Piazza. Now, Ken Griffey Jr. Obviously, the definition of cool and concerns to when you talk about baseball. This kid had the hat backwards. He had so much power in an era where everybody was juiced up and beefed up and jacked up and all that. In a slim frame, he had that same amount of power. He had 600 career home runs. He had the wall crashing, the wall climbing, highlight catches. He had it all, man. The home run derby contest and everything. And you can't forget that swing. Let me tell you something. A beautiful husband, let me backtrack. A perfect husband. The only thing that a perfect husband will admit is more beautiful than his wife is Ken Griffey Jr.'s swing. And the only thing comparable in sports to Ken Griffey's swing is probably, maybe debatable, Ray Allen's shot or Stephen Curry's shot. And speaking of Stephen Curry, here's his reaction to Charlotte losing the All-Star game.
It was disappointing news to hear as a guy from Charlotte to have the All-Star game moved. It's obviously a decision Adam Silver felt he had to make, and you support that. But as a guy who grew up there and wanted this really bad for the city, and to kind of show selfishly like where I grew up, it's going to mean a lot. That's about it. It's disappointing.
Now, this is a huge statement for the NBA, and it's not just for the NBA, it's not just for sports, but it's for major corporations saying that we will leave million-dollar deals on the table to stand up for what's right. We will change thousands of fans and media members' plans months in advance and all of these things to stand up for humans, for human rights. And as a Christian, I can understand where all the flack for homosexuality and transgender lifestyles come from. I don't endorse those lifestyles by any stretch of the imagination, but as Christians, we also have to reevaluate our stances and our approaches when we're trying to save lost souls. Are we living genuinely? Are we reflecting a life that truly reflects Christ in our day-to-day lives? Are we just being nice people? Or are we condemning people and we're trying to force them to live a certain lifestyle that they don't want to live through laws? And that's just what we have to understand, is that the laws of this land do not change the laws of the Lord, period. So we shouldn't be so focused on these things, man. I think that's what's got us here in the first place, is that we're trying to do this and we're trying to do that, and we're trying to force Jesus for throwing Bibles at people, man. Like, that's what's got us here. It's the corruption in the church and the corruption in the Christian community, period. But anyways, like I said, that's why I have no problem with it, and I applaud Adam Silver for the decision he made to move it and make a stand, make a change for laws, because although we can't change grown adults' mindsets and their opinions, we can change laws, and that's something, the power we have. And what's a better way to hit him than in the finances and in the wallet? So Charlotte, sorry for missing out on $1 million or whatever, but hey, it is what it is. And now moving on to the WNBA. The people are talking about the WNBA more than they have in years, and it's thanks, in large part thanks to the WNBA icons like Tina Charles, Sue Bird, Swing Cash. All of these women are stepping up and saying, no, WNBA, you can't silence us, you can't do this, and we're standing up for blue lives, we're standing up for black lives, we're standing up for no violence, we're standing up for peace, we're standing up for justice, and all of these things, regardless of what you tell us. And it's such a good thing for the game. And you see all of these athletes this past month intertwining with activism a month after Ali's death, and it's a light spot in a really, really dark moment in history right now, because it just shows another reason why Muhammad Ali was indeed the greatest. And now when you're speaking of things that are doing more harm than good to the sport, Candace Parker isn't on the Olympic team. For some reason, Gino Auriemma is apparently giving the nod to his former players at UConn, more so than the best and biggest stars in the game for team purposes or whatever. Team USA is going to win regardless. And since they're going to win regardless, you might as well put out the best possible product for the fans to see, and for, use your stars in the game, because women's basketball is obviously struggling with the popularity and attention and this and this and that. So if I'm the WNBA, or if I'm USA Basketball, or whatever the case may be, I'm going to use something like a Skylar Diggins as much as I can. I'm going to use a Lena Deladon as much as I can. I'm going to use a Candace Parker as much as I can, a Brittany Griner, Angel McCoughtry, so on and so on and so on and so on and so on, Maya Morris, all of those. I'm going to use those as much as I possibly can. So for you to say, no, we're not going to put you on the team, when the guys on the men's side are just dropping out left and right. Oh, I don't want to play because of this. I don't want to play because of this. I want to play because of this. The girls on the women's side, the women on the women's side, they want to play. So just let them play. If they're the biggest stars in the game, put them on the team, coach. If it's a chemistry thing or this or this or that, it doesn't matter, because the team is going to win anyway. So you should do what's right for the fans and put Candace Parker on the team. Or you should have put Candace Parker on the team. It's too late for that anyways. And also, speaking of things that do more harm than good, let's talk about weed. This is a tough topic, controversial topic. We got Le'Veon Bell, who is currently suspended 4 games for missing a drug test after he was on the NFL's probation list by getting caught with possession of weed. Alden Smith was shown on Periscope. It's rumored it's his account, but you couldn't see his face, saying, hey, I'm rolling up, and a girl's like, I don't think you should do that. I don't think this is a good idea. And he was like, oh, it's not like I'm saying Alden Smith, when he's saying, hey, I'm Alden Smith and this is pretty much me, unless it's a troll on the internet or whatever hacked his account and did all these things. But he's currently suspended by the NFL, long story short, because he had 2 DUIs in the past, and one included a possession of weed. So I just say this, you can say whatever you want about weed, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. Just do the right thing. When you get paid millions of dollars, when you have a full ride college education at schools where a lot of kids take 2 jobs, they bike 7 miles, they do this, they do that, they sleep homelessly around campus and try to sneak places close to campus so they can have a place to rest their head, so they can wake up in time for class in the morning, just to get the same college education. Don't take advantage of that and smoke weed because everybody else doing it. Do the right thing. And it's truly sad to see so many young lives being thrown away because of weed. Something so minuscule can turn into something so large, man. And people say you can't get addicted to it. I've seen too many lives thrown away from this, man. A lack of discipline. And athletes, they have to have discipline to work out and stick to a certain diet, to stick to this, that, this, and that. But you're smoking weed, man. You can't stay off the... Cue the Stephen A clip. We're just gonna throw in Stephen A right there.
It's stay off the weed. And you can't stay off the weed. He ain't getting busted for using weed.
Appreciate that, Stephen A. Because you can't stay off the weed. You're in this predicament, and you put yourself and your teammates and your family, and where you're losing money and where you don't have an education and this and that. You're throwing away free opportunities. You did so much hard work for so many years, 20 years, 18 years, 30 years, whatever the case may be, and you throw it all away because a little joint, a blunt, because you can't put down the joints. You can't say no. And that's just truly sad. For more information and for more of my takes on athlete activism and all of these things, you can check out the link in the description. It's an A-League podcast. I'm talking with my guys about that more into depth. It's about an hour for all the updates on what's going on right now with me or whatever. News stories, blogs, articles, this, that. The other audio, you can go to rashadmilligan.com. It's a new website, so be sure to check that out. Be sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be putting out videos every Monday. Or if I didn't put out a video that Monday, it's because I put out something earlier that week or for the week. So yeah, just subscribe, because we're just going to have more content, more stuff coming for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments about gay people or transsexual people or the WNBA or weed or the NFL, which also, hold on, I didn't mention this. Weed in sports is not just a black problem, and it's not just a football problem. Although domestic violence probably is, which is another video for another day, but it's just a lack of discipline problem. And so like I'm saying, if you want to talk about any of this stuff in the comments, let me know. Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Piazza, Mets, Braves, Chipper Jones, Larry, whoever you want to talk about, just let me know in the comments and we can talk about it. Duke it out. Do. Until next time, take care of yourself.